We're going to protect them. We're going to do everything we can to prosecute violent criminals in California. California is burning. These people are waving Mexican flags, yet they don't want anyone to go back to Mexico. They're burning American flags. This is the United States of America, and we're going to protect Americans. We're going to protect all citizens out there.
In a major move, the Justice Department has filed a sweeping lawsuit against Los Angeles over its sanctuary city immigration policies. This legal battle escalates U.S. President Donald Trump's crackdown on cities that limit cooperation with federal immigration enforcement, like ICE. Tensions boiled over after ICE raids in L.A. sparked days of intense protests, vandalism, and confrontations with federal agents. According to the Department of Homeland Security, attacks on federal officials during these protests have surged by over 500% in recent weeks. Trump responded by deploying National Guard troops to Los Angeles. Moves, state officials say, only inflamed the unrest. Protesters blocked ICE agents' hotels, clanged pots to disrupt their sleep, and set fires during nightly demonstrations. California Governor Gavin Newsom and Mayor Karen Bass have accused the Trump administration of escalating the crisis. The fresh move is part of a broader crackdown. The DOJ has also sued New York, Colorado, and Illinois over similar sanctuary policies. Attorney General Pam Bondi said in a statement that sanctuary policies were the driving cause of the violence, chaos, and attacks on law enforcement that Americans recently witnessed in Los Angeles. The complaint alleges that Los Angeles's policies, enacted weeks after Trump won last year's election, violate a provision of the U.S. Constitution called the Supremacy Clause that makes federal law supersede conflicting state laws. It asks a federal judge to strike down those policies as unlawful. Rights groups argue that sanctuary policies are key to protecting vulnerable populations and ensuring community safety. The lawsuit also marks the latest legal confrontation between the Trump administration and California, the largest U.S. state. The Justice Department is already investigating the state over a law that allows transgender female athletes to compete in girls' school sports and is examining whether faculty hiring practices in the University of California system violate anti-discrimination laws. Newsom, the state's governor, has long clashed with Trump and recently filed a defamation lawsuit against Fox News over how the network covered a phone call with Trump related to the Los Angeles protests.
This administration is pushing mass deportations, indiscriminately targeting hardworking immigrant families, regardless of their roots or risk. Donald Trump, without consulting California law enforcement leaders, commandeered 2,000 of our state's National Guard members to deploy on our streets, illegally and for no reason. This brazen abuse of power by a sitting president inflamed a combustible situation, putting our people, our officers, and even our National Guard at risk. That's when the downward spiral began. He doubled down on his dangerous National Guard deployment by fanning the flames even harder. And the president, he did it on purpose. As the news spread throughout LA, anxiety for family and friends ramped up. Protests started again. By night, several dozen lawbreakers became violent and destructive. They vandalized property. They tried to assault police officers. Many of you have seen the video clips of cars burning on cable news. If you incite violence, I want to be clear about this. If you incite violence or destroy our communities, you're going to be held to account. That kind of criminal behavior will not be tolerated, full stop. Already more than 220 people have been arrested, and we're reviewing tapes to build additional cases, and people will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Again, thanks to our law enforcement officers and the majority of Angelenos who protested peacefully, the situation was winding down and was concentrated in just a few square blocks downtown. But that's not what Donald Trump wanted. He again chose escalation. He chose more force. He chose theatrics over public safety. He federalized another 2,000 Guard members. He deployed more than 700 active U.S. Marines. These are the men and women trained for foreign combat, not domestic law enforcement. We honor their service. We honor their bravery. But we do not want our streets militarized by our own armed forces, not in LA, not in California, not anywhere. We're seeing unmarked cars in school parking lots, kids afraid of attending their own graduation. Trump is pulling a military dragnet all across Los Angeles, well beyond his stated intent to just go after violent and serious criminals. His agents are arresting dishwashers, gardeners, day laborers, and seamstresses. That's just weakness masquerading as strength. Donald Trump's government isn't protecting our communities, they're traumatizing our communities. And that seems to be the entire point. This is a president who in just over 140 days has fired government watchdogs that could hold him accountable for corruption and fraud. He's declared a war on culture, on history, on science, on knowledge itself. Databases, quite literally, are vanishing. He's delegitimizing news organizations, and he's assaulting the First Amendment. And the threat of defunding them, at threat, he's dictating what universities themselves can teach. He's targeting law firms and the judicial branch that are the foundations of an orderly and civil society.
Look, if we didn't get involved, right now, Los Angeles would be burning, just like it was burning a number of months ago with all the houses that were lost. Los Angeles right now would be on fire. A governor should be able to handle it. And frankly, if they can handle it, the aftermath, then maybe they shouldn't be governor.
And Mr. President, when is the last time you spoke with Governor Newsom?
A day ago. Called him up to tell him, got to do a better job. He's doing a bad job, causing a lot of death and a lot of potential death. If we didn't send out the National Guard, and last time we gave him a little additional help, you would have, Los Angeles would be burning right now. Los Angeles would be not a lot different than what you saw take place in California and Los Angeles just a little while ago. And you got to remember, we have the Olympics coming, and we don't want people looking at Los Angeles like it would have been. It would have been bad. Last night they had total control. If we didn't have the military in there, the National Guard, and then we also sent in some Marines, we had some bad people. We have people, they look in your face and they spit right in your face. They're animals. And these are paid insurrectionists. These are paid troublemakers. They're agitators. They're paid. Do you think somebody walks up to a curb and starts hammering pieces out, has all the equipment necessary, and starts handing it out to people to use as a weapon? These are paid insurrectionists or agitators or troublemakers. You can call it whatever you want. And we ended it, and we have in custody some very bad people. Some very bad people.